Hi guys, my name is Sarah and welcome to my YouTube channel. Jess Sowards from Roots and Refuge Farm posted a video a couple weeks ago, just like one of her regular vlogs, but at one point in the vlog she started talking about her first farm love and her homestead dreams, and a lot of people really resonated with that. Kind of sparked that, oh yeah, like the dreaming of homesteading. So my friend Kirsten made this video talking about her homestead dreams and what they look like, and it was inspired by this vlog that Jess posted. And she texted me and tagged me and said, hey, I want to know what your homestead dreams are, so you should make a video too. To which I said, of course, I would love to. So before I get into it, if you haven't seen Kirsten's channel yet, her YouTube channel is called Poplar Creek Farm. She's super down to earth, totally real, and I really think you'll love her. I know I do. So check out her channel. It'll be linked below. For people who know me well and have known me for a long time, they know that I've always wanted a farm. Like since I was a little girl, my mom said I told her I wanted to be a cowgirl when I grew up, and I wanted to be a farmer. And I wanted the farm with like the big beautiful garden and all the animals and horses and goats and pigs and donkeys and chickens, like the whole thing. I wanted it all. And eventually that turned into a teacher, and I am a teacher. I became a teacher. But that longing for a farm has just always been there. It's just that where I live, and I've said this before, the cost of living where I live is extremely high. Even though I've always loved to have a farm, it's one of those things that I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like a dream. Like, it's never gonna happen. Now, my dream looks similar, but I think because I'm older and have more knowledge about buying land and what goes into getting a homestead, I just have more realistic expectations of my dream. I would be happy with like 10 acres would be amazing, but even 4 or 5 acre homestead I would love. Just anything that we have room to spread out and grow a little bit. I don't need a Jersey cow. I would love a Jersey cow. That's one thing as a little girl I was always like, I want a dairy cow. But I don't need a Jersey cow. And so cows need a lot of space. They need a lot of grass. I think it would be really cool to have a dairy cow, but I think that would probably be the last animal I'd ever get. I would have to really work my way to that. I would love chickens. I've been trying to convince my brother that I live with, well, not with, our house is basically a semi, and they live on one side and we live on the other. And I have been trying to convince him since they bought this house to get chickens, but we are really in town, and so he was like, no, I'm not getting chickens. So I talked to my other brother, and he's got about an acre of land, and it's just outside of town. It's like 2 minutes away, but it's just a little bit more rural feeling. And so I talked him into getting 20 chickens. And it's awesome. It's so cool, and they love it, and they're totally on the homestead thing. My brother and I have talked about how we should buy a place together, like a big farm together, and just build 2 houses on it, and we'll have a homestead. My dream property would be 10 to 15 acres. My husband would love more than that because he'd really like a property that we could hunt on. I don't personally hunt. My husband loves to hunt. That would be really cool. It would either be 10 or 15 acres or like 100 acres. But I would be happy with 4 or 5. I just want any kind of land. For animals, chickens is like a no-brainer. If we move somewhere with a homestead, one of the first things I do is get chickens because they're pretty easy to take care of. I kind of know a little bit because of the chickens we have at my brother's house, and I'd probably just start with a couple, just enough for my husband and I, maybe 3, maybe 4 at the very beginning, and then as we get established I would add more. I also would love goats. I think they're so funny and they're so cute. I'd love to have pigs. I'd love to have meat rabbits. I think that would be really cool. So gardening, if I had a farm and I had a homestead, what I would love to do is be a market gardener. Now, for you people who are market gardeners, don't come for me being like, you're romanticizing it. I might be romanticizing it, but this is my dream, okay? Let me do what I want. I have always loved the idea of getting up early and going out to a market and having your little stand and like selling your products. I really like sales. I like doing sales type thing. I sell like Norwex products, which is one of those MLM things. And there's another one that I'm thinking of doing. But it's not that I don't want to get into the MLM scheme because I think they're stupid personally. But I love selling things. Like, I find it very fun selling things, especially when I'm like pushing a sale and I get it. It's like, yes, feels good. And also the extra income is really nice. I would love having a little market stand and selling my own produce and like making packaging for my food and my things, and I'd really like that. And I have lots of ideas of what I would do if I had a market stand. I would love to one day have a space big enough that we can grow lots of food for our own family, but then also grow enough to sell at a market and also give away and all that good stuff. That would be really fun for me. I would definitely have by the house our family garden, and it would be very much like Roots and Refuge Farm idea, where it's not a bed of carrots and a bed of tomatoes and a bed of this. I would want everything sort of intermingled, so it's just like a lovely place to be with like the beautiful sitting area in the middle, and a place that when I have people come over to my house, I want the garden to be a welcoming place where we just end up sort of hanging out if it's nice outside. And then somewhere else in the property, I would have like my market gardens where they're for production and getting a lot of food out. I would love to have like a full hugelkultur garden area, which is like the mounding. So how we filled our raised beds was inspired by that, because we have the logs on the bottom and then sticks and twigs and leaves and grass clippings, stuff like that, and then like soil. Like it mounds up. The thing about hugelkultur is the older it is, the better it is, because it breaks down and it basically self-composts. And I'd love to have a place that's big enough that I can have like some significant hugelkultur mounds and rows, and then also that we'll be there long enough that I can actually experience the long-term benefits of it. So another thing when I dream of my future one day dream homestead is the house. I want the like beautiful old white farmhouse, either like white or red brick. Either one I'm happy with. But the beautiful big farmhouse with a lovely open kitchen and a big family room so I can have people over. I love hosting. And it's been really hard for me these first few years of marriage because we have these little tiny apartments. This is our second apartment. And it's just hard to host more than 2 or 3 other couples at the most. Like if we had 3 other couples, it would be very cramped in here. I love like cooking big dinners for people and having people over. One day when we have a house, I'm gonna be the one in the family that hosts every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, everything. It's gonna be at my house. That's just me. And so not being able to host really sucks. So I want a house that's big and open so it's easy to host. If any of you have seen the Prairie Homestead, she has a pantry room off of her kitchen, and I want something like that where it's a separate room that I can go in and have all of my canned goods and all my stuff, and I want to have like a cold cellar downstairs for long-term storage. That's what I would like. But I wouldn't want a massive house. Like I'd want the main floor to be big and open feeling, so like I could have my whole extended family over, but then just like small bedrooms upstairs. I don't want a huge ginormous house. The biggest thing is I would love to be able to have a homestead where my kids can grow up there, which is really unrealistic in this area. Like you have to kind of luck out. But I would love my kids to grow up on a farm that they have to get up, they have to do their chores, they know how to work hard, they know how to be self-sufficient, how to look around, see what needs to be done, and just do it. Those are very important qualities to me, and I really want to instill that in my children. Like I know that you can teach your children that no matter where you are, but there's something about raising a child on a farm that I think is just so beneficial to them growing into an adult. So if I had it my way, we would be moving to our homestead like this year. But it's probably not going to happen. That's why this is a dream. I don't know if you can hear that. My husband's outside with the baby. He's singing to him. So cute. So a few weeks ago, my husband and I have been looking, like we've been looking for a while to purchase a house, and it could be another couple years for us. Like we're just keeping our eyes open. But we found this property. It's about 45 minutes away from where we live now, and it was 12 acres. It had this old house. It was big, but it wasn't really big. It was a nice size for a family. The house was gross. It needed to be totally redone, but we're totally into that. Like, we want something that we have to totally redo. But it had looked like it had good bones. The basement had high ceilings, but it was unfinished, just an open square, so you could do anything with it. And there was a spring-fed pond on it, like a big one. Oh my goodness, we were just losing our freaking minds over this property, and it was only $60,000 over what we can afford. I know in a lot of areas in the States that's like crazy, like a ton of money, but here like $60,000 is not a lot for a property. Like, starter homes are easily selling for $450,000, $500,000 for your basic, like, gross rundown starter home. We would have done anything to get that house. We saw it online, and before we could go see it, it had already sold conditionally. It just got snapped right up, but that would have been the dream come true. It really would have. That's my dream. I don't even know if this makes sense. Honestly, I just want to farm. Like, I just want to farm. I just want to farm with some animals and a big garden. I don't want to have to work. I want my whole job to just be like working the farm. That would be great. So that's my homestead dream. Sorry if it was really convoluted. I'm very convoluted. My brain is like it's just all over the place. Welcome to my brain for 5 seconds. I am going to be tagging 3 people to tell me what their homestead dreams are. The first one is Homegrown Wife. She actually messaged me originally saying she wanted to make this video, and then Kirsten posted hers, and so I was like, oh well, I'll just tag you in it. So Homegrown Wife is the first one. I'm also going to be tagging Simple Sanctuary. She's from Florida, so very far from me, but she's super sweet. You'll love her channel. Lastly, I'm going to be tagging Rachel from Food Forest Living. She has a really cool little thing going on. They live a little bit more north of us in Ontario. They're about 2 hours away from us, but they live in the middle of a forest in the Canadian Shield and are working on self-sustainability, and I follow her on Instagram and on YouTube. She's got some really interesting stuff to share. So I'm going to have all of these channels I've mentioned linked below. I tag you guys, make this video, and tell me what your homestead or farm dreams are. That's it. I'll see you all again very soon, and everything will be linked below. Yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope your garden looks absolutely beautiful, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.